Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. Please subscribe if you haven't yet already. It's a red button beneath me somewhere, and if you click on that you'll be subscribed. There's also a white bell next to that, and if you click on that you'll get an alert every time I upload new content. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. That would make me very happy. Today's video is the 12th in a series where I am taking a look from the Rae Morris Makeup Masterclass book, and I'm taking the looks from that book and I'm making them my own. So I'm using my own skin tone and skin type and makeup collection. I'm not buying anything outside of my makeup collection specifically for use in these videos. This is the first time that that's different because the look is called Fire and Ice, and I haven't owned Revlon Fire and Ice in a long time, which is what I'm wearing today. And I wanted to use Revlon Fire and Ice today. So I bought it and I'm using it. So if you would like to see how I got this look, please keep watching. All right, step one, and I've never seen this before in all of my Rae Morris makeup looks, is to prep the skin, which I see, but powder the eyes. So I'm gonna go in with my Kat Von D Lock-It setting powder. Not sure why I'm doing that. I'm doing it because she's telling me to. But yeah, and all of the other looks that I've done with this book, nothing has ever told me to powder my eyes. All right, then I am taking a gold eyeshadow, so I'm going to use ColourPop Rosé All Day, and I am using a oval shadow brush to apply to the eyelid just up to the eyebrow bone. Keep the shape rounded. So I'm using a Morphe M2522, and I'm just going to do a light dusting on my lid and bring it up to my brow bone. It's not, as I look at the model, it's not too overly saturated or shimmery, so that's fine. And I'm going back into the eyeshadow, and I'm applying more to the brush. And then what I'm going to do is just take the brush that still has the shadow on it, just to give myself a little bit more of a gradient, and then I'll put a little more powder eyeshadow on the brush. Still getting over whatever this cold thing is, so I feel like I'm not as sharp as I sometimes like to be. So apologies for that. Okay, that's done. Then, using a detailed point shader brush, apply the gold shadow about 1/3 of the way along the lower lash line, starting at the inner corner of the eye. Don't extend it along the full lash line. So I'm going to use a Morphe M443. I am going to use some MAC Prep and Prime, and I'm also going to go in later and do concealer. So I may end up needing to add more of this later. So we're going only 1/3 of the way, like so. And same on the other side. All right, then we are using a step two, I'm moving on to step two, a matte aubergine eyeshadow on a detail point shader brush. Intensify the remaining outer 2/3 of the lower lash line and the outer third of the upper lash line. And then with the remainder of the shadow left on your brush, create a soft socket. So for this, I'm going to use a Makeup Geek small crease brush and Sugar Pill 2 AM. So this brush is larger than the one that I used for the gold. And I'm not going to use any mixing medium fixing spray on this. I might go back in later after I put on concealer. So I'm just putting this on the lower lid, and it's the remaining lower 2/3. So I'm bringing it over, kind of meeting it in the middle where that gold left off, the outer third of the upper lash line. And then with the remainder of the shadow left on your brush, intensify the socket. So just gonna go back 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm not picking up any more shadow, and what I'm trying to do is take whatever remaining shadow I have left and distribute it evenly on both eyes. I don't want to have one eye that has all the pigment and the other that doesn't. And then she says, tip, if you have trouble blending, pick up the first brush that you used, the Deluxe Oval Shadow Brush, the one that I used for the gold, to help blend. But I think we're okay. All right. Then, so sometimes she is very intense about using a clean brush, even if it's the exact same brush every single time. I'm going to use the same, because this is kind of the right size for me, the same Makeup Geek small crease brush, and I'm using a dark violet. This is ColourPop Crown Jewel. It's not totally matte, it's a little tiny bit of a shimmer, but that's fine. So a dark violet, actually it doesn't say that it's matte, dark violet eyeshadow and go over the matte aubergine color from step 2. So I'm going to do that. So I'm just going over this with this deeper color. And it doesn't say that it needs to be matte, but it is pretty matte. And first third of my top lid. And using a wet cotton bud, clean up any fallout, or you can use a makeup wipe. I would just use a powder brush, but I actually don't have any fallout, which is nice. And then she says, interestingly, oh, and actually, you know what I'll do, because it does look like the crease is deepened up after this step. I'm gonna add a little more shadow to the brush and just deepen up my crease here. And then she's including some information that I've never seen before in any of the other Rae Morris looks that I've done. She is saying, this is also a good time if you have dry eyes to use eye drops, as the following steps are quite dramatic. There's nothing worse than completing your makeup look and needing eye drops, which may run and smudge your makeup, which is an interesting point to make. All right, step 4, we are applying a full lash, and I'm going to apply a 3/4 length lash. I'm using a pair of Allure Accent 003 lashes from my little Winky Lux package. I've used these lashes before. And going to curl my lashes first. Doing this because when I apply lashes, if I haven't curled, my lashes are pretty straight, and if I haven't curled my lashes and I'm applying a lash that has a curl in it, then my natural lashes tend to be kind of sticking out, and then the false lashes are going up. So curling it helps me be able to have them play more nicely together. I am going to speed you through this. I'm going to be using my House of Lashes clear lash glue for this. I'll speed you through this. All right, lashes are done. And I did a little extra kind of pushing down just because I saw them coming up a little bit, but that's all that I was doing to fix it. I've been practicing, and it definitely gets easier with practice. Also, step 4, we're going to apply a black liquid gel eyeliner. So I'm going to use a black liquid eyeliner. I'm going to use my NYX liquid black liner with a brush. And this is mainly to hide the base of the eyelash band. So I'm just going to run this over the band and kind of where I see a little bit of my skin poking through. And I'll do the same on the other side. And I did use a clear glue this time. I've been practicing a lot, and I'll work my way back to using black, I think, when I'm more confident, but now I'm using clear. All right, then we are applying liquid foundation all over. I will speed you through this. I'm going to use Fenty in 190, and I'll use a foundation brush. Rae Morris does generally prefer foundation to be applied with a brush as opposed to with a sponge. All right, and she's not saying, there are 2 steps that are missing from this, from this look. One is concealer, so I'm going to use my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind in Neutralizer just under my eyes. I'm not going to go in very much. I'm surprised that I actually don't look as discolored as I would expect that I would be looking with still fighting whatever this stupid cold is. But it's not as well, it's not great, but it's not as bad as I would expect that it would be. And just a little bit of this, which I will set. And I'm gonna do a little more blending just to match that up a little bit. And then back in with my Kat Von D Lock-It powder just to set that a little bit. And then we are contouring and highlighting. For contour, I'm going to use my Fenty Stick Contour in Amber here, and I'm using, this is a Sephora, it's a foundation brush, it's a number, foundation brush, it's a number 47, so it's kind of swoopy. And I'm gonna kind of buff in little C motions, and same on this side. I'm not gonna do my nose, and then under my chin and my jawline. A little more of this. And then we are also highlighting, which I'm going to do with my The Balm Mary Lou-manizer and a fan brush. And I'm going to apply it up here. So no blush with this look. And I'm going to put it on my Cupid's bow too. But I'm not going to go down the middle of my nose. The other thing missing from this whole look is eyebrows. I'm going to zoom you through that. I'm using my Anastasia Brow Wiz in dark brown. All right, and then also not a step, but I'm going to set with my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Powder, just kind of setting all over. And then the last step for this look, step 4, before we go on to the extra stuff, is to finish with a nude lip gloss, which doesn't seem like very fire and ice to me. This is just kind of gold and purple. So I'm going to move on to the step 5 optional continuation, which is where the fire and ice happens. So step 5 optional continuation, we're going to get some ice, and this is to heavily line the inner waterline with a pale blue matte pencil. I'm going to use this NYX Slide On Glide On pencil in Azure. I'll speed you through that. All right, so there's the ice. Then she's saying a precision eyeliner brush, precision bent eyeliner brush. I'm just going to use this small MAC, probably a lip brush that I've had for a long time, and some MAC Fix Plus. And we're going back in with that gold Rosé All Day from ColourPop. And we're using this brush to apply gold eyeshadow to the inner V of the eye. So I'm just going to apply more up here, because all that I have on the top of my lid is what I brushed on in that first step in terms of the gold. And then she's saying to intensify the socket and the outer lash line. She's not saying what to do it with. I'm going to use that same Makeup Geek crease brush and ColourPop Crown Jewel. This is the deep aubergine that I was using. And I'm going to use this to pump up my socket. And then finally, and again, this is the first product that I've ever purchased for the sole purpose of using in one of these videos. I'm going to use my Revlon Fire and Ice lipstick, because we're supposed to be finishing off with a matte hot orange lipstick. This is more of a cream than a matte. In fact, it is a cream. It says cream on the bottom, but I just couldn't not use this because the look's called Fire and Ice. I'll speed you through this. And that is that. Thank you so much for watching. This was a lot of fun. I like using color. And thank you so much for watching. A lot to do in the world, a lot to do on YouTube, and I really appreciate the time that you took to spend with me today. Take care, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye.